Imagine everybody could pick a song, only one song, and it would be like their life theme song. And like everyone just had their own song. What would yours be? I think I would have to pick I'm Like a Bird by Nelly Furtado. There's just something about that song. Like when that song comes on, I feel it on a soul level. Actually, looking back, that was one of the biggest red flags in one of my exes, is that he didn't like that song. Speaking of exes, welcome back to
the Happy Hippie Podcast.
In today's episode, we're going to dive into the love life of a Libra. Whew! This should be an interesting one. Okay, guys, I'm a hopeless romantic at heart, okay? And I've experienced, I'd say quite a few interesting encounters in the love department. This episode should be quite entertaining, so get excited, folks. Also, I'm going to get a little nerdy on astrology real quick. So for those of you guys who don't know, I feel like everyone knows their sun sign. That's kind of like your birth date. Everyone knows their first zodiac sign. But that really is only just one aspect of your chart. So my sun sign's in Libra, right? But they say your rising sign comes out more with age, which I totally resonate with. So for those of you who don't know anything about astrology, I'm just going to give a quick little rundown. So basically your sun sign is like the majority of your personality. Your moon placement represents how you show up emotionally. Your rising sign is kind of like how you appear to others. Your Venus shows how you show up in relationships. Your Jupiter can show your luck in this lifetime, etc., etc. The list keeps going. So that's why I obviously love astrology and looking into people's birth charts to see which placements they're at. So for me, my sun sign is in Libra. So she's bold, she's out there. She's a hopeless romantic, you already know. But my rising sign is in Cancer. And I heard once that apparently your rising sign comes out more with age. And I totally resonate with that because Cancerian energy is a lot more introverted. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I've slowly started to become more introverted versus when I was younger, I was super extroverted. But ever since my rising sign started to pull through, your girl's been kind of holding back in the love department because I've been loving myself, okay? But this episode's not about my self-love talk. Not right now. We're going to get into some juicy stuff. I'm going to spill the tea. I've experienced a lot of duality regarding the love department, if you will. I've experienced... I don't even know where to start. I could write books on my love life, unfortunately. I wish I was one of those people that's like, oh, I met the love of my life at 14 and we've been together ever since. But unfortunately, that's not the case for me. I've been through so many trials and tribulations in the love department, and yeah, this episode should be interesting. So let's get into it. So obviously, I'm a Libra. I'm a hopeless romantic, okay? I love love. And this has bit me in the ass a few times because sometimes I tend to have rose-colored glasses on for people I shouldn't. We'll just put it that way. I'll get into the details further in the episode, okay? Before we get too deep into the episode, I think it's important that we should go over some relationship psychology and talk about the different kinds of connections humans can form. There's 3 different types of connections. There's karmic, soulmate, and twin flame connections. And I'm just going to quickly explain what each of these are. So a karmic connection is, it's literally in the name, karma. Okay, these are the kind of connections with people that are meant to teach you some kind of lessons. There tends to be a lot of mirroring of each other's darker qualities within a karmic relationship. Karmic relationships can be difficult, but they are put in our life to teach us some kind of lesson that we didn't master in a past life. So those connections hurt like a bitch, okay? And they're also really hard to let go of. The next type of connection is a soulmate connection. So obviously that goes both platonically and romantically. This is a connection of helping each other grow, and it's a very beautiful kind of connection. So lastly, we have the twin flame connection. So the twin flame connection is honestly quite rare. They say you only ever have a few of them in your lifetime, but these kinds of connections, essentially, it's like you share the same soul with this person. It's a super intense connection. It tends to be sometimes more spiritual. Those connections are beautiful and filled with like tons of synchronicities, but at the same time, everything you've ever tried to run for is like kind of like faced right in front of you. Also has a bit of a mirroring aspect. So these are the 3 types of relationship dynamics that exist. And in my personal experience, in my love life, I've encountered quite the handful of karmic connections. Unfortunately, I think a lot of my karma in this lifetime so far has manifested in the love department for sure. Yeah, I just tend to attract a ton of karmic connections. So obviously these connections aren't meant to last, and they're meant to teach some kind of hard lesson, and usually ends up with a whole lot of hurt. Also, I'm an empath, right? I'm a highly sensitive human being. So I naturally just happen to be a magnet for narcissists. So that's been quite interesting. Let's also quickly go over the 5 different love languages. So there's words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service. So these are the 5 different love languages. And honestly, I'm kind of a nerd with all this stuff. And usually on like my first date with a guy, I'll always whip out the birth chart. Okay, I need to look at their astrology chart. I'm a huge nerd with that stuff, and I can just know so much about them by just peeking at their birth chart. So I'll look at their birth chart, and then I'll make them do the... People probably think I'm crazy when I pull this out, but then I'll make them do the love language quiz to see what their love language is, because I'm just trying to know if we're compatible like right off the bat. I don't know if I'm just like this, but I'm kind of like an all or nothing person when it comes to love. It's either like you're my soulmate, I'm going to give you my entire heart and everything I am, or it's nothing at all. That's why I'm like super picky. So right off at the first date, I always make them do all of these tests just so I can see if we're compatible. Some people might think it's crazy, but it's like, if that scares them off, then it's like, can they even handle me as a partner anyways? You know what I mean? So yeah, usually when I'm talking to a person, this is the rundown. I'll look at their astrology chart first. Then I'll make them do the love language quiz, see what their love language is, and see if we are compatible. Because if my love language is like words of affirmation, for example, and my partner's love language is acts of service, we wouldn't be compatible. So why even start in the first place if you just know it's going to end that way? I don't know. This is kind of how my brain works. Like, I get mixed reactions. Some people think it's so cool and like love it, and other people are like, Mom, I'm scared, pick me up. So it's interesting to see how people react. But if it's going well, I'll usually also get them to do like the personality test, and then I'll also look into their numerology chart to see their like life path number and soul number and like their purpose in this lifetime, which is a lot for a first date. But I'm just like I said, I'm all or nothing. I'm either your wife or we're not talking at all. Making the people I talk to do all these tests and quizzes, I can figure out if we're compatible like that. So that's why I do it. That's how my first dates usually start off. This episode is not only going to be entertainment for you guys, but it's also going to be free therapy for me. I'm entering the era of my life where I'm like having the same audacity that men have. And ever since I've entered this era, Kylie's been dangerous. And this podcast episode is dangerous because I'm going to share the tea. My love life has been... a roller coaster doesn't even describe it. Like a tsunami of emotions. Maybe that's the word. I don't know. A tornado. Picture like a tornado just coming in and just destroying an entire town. Okay, that's like equivalent to the love life of Kilee Iris. Unfortunately. We're just going to get on into the juice. I've dated a lot of different kinds of people. Okay, I've dated people with very, very little. And I've also dated the top 1%. And the duality of dating these 2 different kinds of people, I've had guys pick me up in their broken down Mazda that barely starts. And I've also had guys pick me up in their Bugattis and take me to their multi-million-dollar mansion. But I've also been in relationships where I've been homeless with the person and lived out of a van. If you want to hear more about what that life was like, tune into last week's episode. Unfortunately, things haven't really worked out in my favor in the past regarding the love department. However, I've learned lots of things from my experiences of dating different kinds of people from all walks of life. So yeah, that's basically what this episode's all about. I'm going to talk a little bit about my love life and the things I've learned. So yeah, good luck, Charlie. Whenever I post like any kind of Q&A or like literally anything on social media, I'd say like 80% of the feedback, 70 to 80% of the feedback I get is usually people asking about if I have a boyfriend or some kind of question regarding my love life. And I always wondered, like, why do people like care? Like, really, why do people want to know so badly, like, what's going on in my love life? And then I was like, okay, let's backtrack here for a second. You know, I've had different kind of viral videos and different trends I've created over the years with my boyfriend. And having a relationship on the internet, oh my gosh. It's not one for the thin-skinned, we'll just say that. I remember even just like going through the breakup and then all our fans just sending me so many couples edits. Little girls were DMing me being like, you guys broke up, love doesn't exist. And it's a lot of pressure having a relationship on the internet. On the flip side of things, it's also a lot of fun though. I had a lot of fun with it because I like doing fun challenges and weird internet trends. So in that regard, it was fun. But mentally, putting your relationship out on the internet like that, it definitely comes with some cons as well. After me and my ex that I used to film with broke up, I made a conscious decision that I wasn't really gonna probably ever have another public relationship. Watch this, someone clip this and it just cuts to my next relationship that's like on the internet. No, but I might. But this is the thing. And I don't know, I just remember when I got out of my relationship, I kind of made a promise with myself that I was never going to put another one of my relationships on the internet again. And since then, I haven't. So a lot of the things I'm going to talk about in this episode are actually people you guys have no idea who they are. So that's why I feel comfortable talking about a lot of these stories, because I never put these relationships out on the internet. So no one really knows who these people are. So I'm not holding back. That was an evil laugh. I'm scared. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about my most recent relationship that I just ended. And this is the thing. There's a part of me that's like, doesn't want to talk about anything regarding love and just keeping all of this to myself. But then it's like, you know, this guy's ugly. And by no means am I making any negative remarks towards his looks. I'm speaking about ugly on the inside. And when you are ugly on the inside, you're dead to me. And that's why I broke up with this guy. But I'm going to tell you guys a story about what happened, because this one's entertaining. This episode really said free therapy. This is Kylie's therapy session. Are you guys ready for this? I don't know if you guys are. I'm not ready for this. True beauty stems from within. And the inside of this guy was ugly. So that's why I feel no remorse talking about what happened. Let's go on a walk down memory lane, shall we? This relationship happened last year. But I mean, relationship. We dated 3 weeks. Come on, does that even count? I've taken shits longer than that. So right off the bat, me and this guy just had one of those instant connections. Our personalities matched so well together. For those of you who are into personality types, we are both ENFJs. So I've never met somebody who's the same personality type as me, but like we hit it off so well. We just had the same sense of humor, and like the way our personalities clicked, it was beautiful. It truly was so beautiful. Kilee thought she found somebody special, and everything was going great. Okay, everything was actually escalating scarily quickly. So quickly. And at the time, I just thought I was in love, obviously. I just thought things were going great. You know, I remember we went for a drive one day at night, and we pulled over on the side of the road. For context here, this guy is very well off. Okay, he is definitely in the top 1% when it comes to finances. And yeah, so we were driving around in one of his like maybe 8 cars he owned. I was like, one of them, I was like, okay, let's go on a trip. Lamborghini, we're going on a ride down the back roads, and it's late at night. The stars were out, and they were so beautiful. They were just so beautiful. I said, you know what? Pull over. Let's look at the stars. And boom, instantly we see a shooting star. The guy's freaking out, okay? He's never in his entire life seen a shooting star, so he's freaking out. And I go, oh my gosh, you have to make a wish. I'm psychic, okay? I already know what he wished for. He wished to have me. And 7 days later, that wish became a reality, and we started dating. We started to date. Things were going great at the beginning. We had one of those connections where we would just stay up till like 3, 4 in the morning every single night because we were just dying of laughter. And like these connections are my favorite relationships, when they're like your best friend and you can just stay up all night laughing, making jokes. Our personalities were like, they just meshed so well together, and everything was going great. In fact, everything was going so great to the point where we were actually about to move out together. Sorry, I'm laughing, but I just noticed this pattern of literally every single time I'm about to move out with a guy is when the entire relationship will fall apart, like literally 1 week before. Anyways, carrying on with the story. At this point, it's around Christmas time. And I was so happy because for once, finally, I don't have to spend another Christmas alone. It was the week before Christmas. I've spent the past few winter seasons single. The fact of like having a partner during Christmas, I was so ecstatic. I'll never forget the day when all this stuff went down because I woke up with the worst gut feeling. Okay, and I'm a highly intuitive individual. So I woke up and I just had the worst gut feeling. Like I woke up feeling like I was going to projectile vomit, but I never did. Whenever I wake up feeling disgustingly sick for no reason, I just know that means something's going to happen and go on that day. So immediately I knew something was going to go down this day. But I was like, it's okay, I'm going to my boyfriend's house. Yay, we're going to have a sleepover. So I arrived at my boyfriend's house. Things were going great. We're just hanging out in the living room. Music is playing in the background, okay? What song comes on? Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. It's the most beautiful time of the year. I'm so excited. This is my first time having a relationship during Christmas season. I'm feeling jolly. I'm feeling joy. Okay, I hear Justin Bieber Mistletoe comes on, and what do I want to do? I want to get up and dance. Okay, I want to get up and dance. It's the most beautiful time of the year. I stand up because I'm a Libra. I romanticize my love life. What do I want to do when romantic Christmas music is playing right before Christmas? I want to dance. So I put my hand out to my boyfriend to grab his hand to get up to dance with me. And he said, I don't want to dance. And immediately I thought in my head, that's a little bit of a red flag because my soulmate will dance with me. If I asked my soulmate to dance with me during like a cute little Christmas song, my soulmate would get up and dance with me. But this man didn't get up and dance with me. And this was like the first thing of the night where I was like, something's weird here. Something's going on. So I got a little bit upset. I was like, what do you mean Christmas is next week? Like, get up and dance with me. Like, be a cute romantic couple. What do you mean? Oh, wait, you're not the guy you pretended you said you were? Oh, you're taking off the mask for 2 weeks that you've put on, pretending to be the perfect person that I want, and now you're going to rip it off? Anyways, I had a feeling like something like that was going to happen this day, and that's exactly what happened. So what did I do? Well, I got up and danced by myself because I don't need someone to dance with me. I'll dance alone. I'll get up and do it. I don't care. So that's what I did. I got up and I started dancing. And then he went in the corner of the couch. He looked like a little mad 6-year-old. And he's just like looking down at his phone. Okay? And he's staring at his phone. He was scrolling through his phone. But I got a vibe. Your girl caught a vibe because my spirit guides gave me the tingles, the ringing in the ear, all the signs. I knew something was cooking. He goes, babe, look at what my friend posted on Instagram, something on his phone, whatever. He hands me his phone. Okay, the man hands me his phone. My first instinct is go through his DMs. And then I was like, hold on, Kilee. Hold on, Kilee. Wait a minute. You have graduated past the toxic phase of your life. You are no longer a toxic individual. Okay, this is a toxic move. Going through someone's messages is a toxic thing to do. You're not going to do that. When I tell you every inch of my body almost feeling magnetized, pulled towards the DMs, like, look through his DM, look through his DM, look through his DM. I've never in my life, I have never felt a gut feeling stronger than to go through his DMs. Because in my rational brain, I was like, this is so toxic, I can't do this. But I had the strongest gut feeling. So I trusted my gut feeling and I clicked the DMs. Keep in mind, all of this happened within a 24-second time span. Okay? 24 seconds. That's all there was. Oh, what's at the very top of his DMs there? Who is that pretty girl? Oh, you're messaging an OnlyFans girl. Oh, you guys are flirting with each other back and forth. Oh, this is funny. This is so funny. Fuck. So what did your girl do? At first, I was in shock. I actually couldn't believe it because you never believe that someone has a side chick when everything's going great, you know? We're -2 weeks away from moving out together. And I find this. I just remember looking at the guy and I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, are you being dead serious right now? I said, you have an OnlyFans side chick? Are you being serious right now? You know what this motherfucker said to me? He goes, no, babe, this is for business. Babe, this is for business. I'm just trying to land a client. And I look at him and I go, if you have to flirt with your clients to land them, how good of a business owner are you really? And I walked my ass out that door. You know, I passed the 2 Lamborghinis in the driveway on the way out. The 4 Teslas. The Range Rover. $5+ million worth of cars in his driveway. I do not give a single fuck. The fact that you had a dime. You had a dime and you lost out on a dime because you wanted to flirt with a penny? For what? For what? Oh, to get your dick a little tingly for a few seconds? Like, what is wrong with people? You were dating a model, an actress, an entrepreneur, a podcast host, a content creator, but above all else, a genuine ass fucking bitch who actually liked you for who you are. But you decided to flirt with the other person who likes you for what you have. And people like that deserve the gold diggers. They really do. So I did what any strong, independent, respectful woman would do, and I walked my ass out his door. And I'm mad, okay? The universe is mad. Right when I walk out of his doorstep, there's a giant storm. It's like -20. The wind's blowing. It's blowing these mini tornado thing. There's crazy storm happens the second I walk outside, okay? I called an Uber. I'm in a t-shirt, freezing my ass off, waiting for the Uber to get here. Okay, I'm shivering. I'm freaking out. I just broke up with this guy too, so I'm just kind of like a little bit upset, you know? Okay, so while I was waiting for the Uber, a part of my brain, it like clicked that this was the last time I was ever going to see this guy again. And you know when like you like go to bed at night and you think of all the things you like could have said to that person? I just did not want that to happen. And I wanted to make sure I had everything I wanted to say off my chest. So I actually walked back inside briefly. Because keep in mind, it was also like a storm outside too. So I walked back inside and I said this. Okay, if what you're saying is true and you only were messaging her for those reasons, let's play a fun little game. Let's play a game of let's go through each other's phone. I'm going to go through your Instagram DMs, and you get to go through mine. You get to look at all the rappers, the NBA basketball players, all of the people I left on red. Why? Because I'm in a relationship. Anyways, obviously he did not take me up on this offer. The audacity of these men, it kills me. I drop kicked this guy's ego because he's never been broken up with. You know, usually when guys have that kind of like fuck you money, girls will do anything for that. But I'm well aware of the fact that money does not equate to happiness. And I walked my ass out that door. $4.99. What costs $4.99? A McDonald's Happy Meal. A McDonald's Happy Meal is the price of this girl's pussy. A McDonald's Happy Meal? You were with a dime, and you lost out on that dime because you flirted with the penny. But was the instant gratification worth it? Like, is it worth losing out on the best thing that's ever happened to you just to get your dick tingly for a few seconds? I don't understand men. I don't. It was also like so fresh into our relationship. Like, if you cave at the first glimpse of temptation, like, do you really think you can handle being with me? Like, you caved for a sewer rat. A sewer rat crawled into your DMs and you caved. Like, I had NBA basketball players hitting me up. Rappers. I turned down being on a reality dating TV show because I was in a relationship with you. Yeah. So moral of the story, he had a side chick. And I actually feel bad for these people because it's self-sabotage, you know? But it's like people like that, I think, deserve the gold diggers. Like, I'm glad that people like that cave in for the sewer rats of society. And yes, I'm going to call the OnlyFans girls the sewer rats of society because if you sell your body to, like, make a living, you're a sewer rat to me. $4.99, bro. A McDonald's Happy Meal! Oh, men are so funny. This guy was pretty awful, but I actually think the crypto guys might be worse than him. The crypto guys will have millions of dollars to their name, but they will have the emotional intelligence equivalent to a piece of toast. And I just can't handle that. If I were to give any girls listening to this any piece of advice, it'd be to not fall for the crypto men. Okay, they're the worst breed. They have so much money, but their personalities are like toast. I also just feel bad for these kinds of people because it's like, do you not understand how karma works? What you put out into the universe, you will always get back in the matter of time. Because karma works far beyond just this lifetime, right? You have your karma, generational karma, ancestral karma. Karma is not someone to play around with. Like, people need to be more consciously aware of the fact of, like, what you put out is what you get back eventually. So, like, maybe treat others how you want to be treated. I don't know. I think we all learned that in, kindergarten? And literally the next day after I broke up with him, he bought 30,000 fake followers on Instagram. Which, A, is just, like, so embarrassing. Like, imagine seeking external validation so much to the point where you buy fake followers. Like, I just feel like that's so embarrassing. And it's also, like, left me feeling shitty because it's like, what? Was that literally all you wanted me for? Remember earlier when we were talking about the 3 different kinds of relationship? Karmic, soulmate, or twin flame? Because of him specifically, I really want to create a 4th category, and I think there needs to be a karmic twin flame, because I swear I've encountered karmic twins. I'm moving on from this guy. We've talked about him for too long. The fact that I've even mentioned anything to do with him has stroked his ego far too much for my liking, so we're going to move on now. You know, it's got to the point where all my friends are like, Kilee, rich people are players. And here's the thing. I don't agree with the notion that every single rich person is a player. However, a lot of the people in the top 1% that I've encountered do tend to have those tendencies. So my friends are like, Kilee, rich people are players. So I was like, okay, let's give broke boys a shot then. Like, I don't need a guy to financially provide for me. So it's not like I actually need a man to have money. So I was like, okay, maybe the emotional intelligence is where the broke people are at, right? Wrong. Okay, let's give the broke boys a shot, shall we? why not? What else do we have to lose? So that's what I did. So I took this one guy up on the date, okay? And he paid for the entire date in change with like dimes and quarters. And I'm not judging, okay? I wasn't judging him. That's totally fine. I had a great time. In fact, we had an amazing night. We had such a good time. And I was like, whoa, maybe there is some hope here. So me and this guy were talking back and forth. And then he invited me to go to the cottage for the weekend where all of his friends were going. And I was like, oh, that sounds like so much fun. So I packed my bags and I showed up. So excited to meet up, with the guy I was talking to. We've been messaging for a few weeks. I'm so excited to just spend the weekend with him, right? I show up at this cottage and, there's a girl beside him. And at first I was like, is that his cousin? Is that, maybe it's, one of his friends, right? Maybe it's a friend he brought some of his friends. It's probably just a friend, or maybe it's his cousin beside him, right? I didn't think too much of it at first. The day was going good. We were having so much fun. Kilee was goofing around a little too much, and she ended up falling into the lake. This lake was really shallow and like muddy, so I was kind of gross. So I was like, okay, I need to have a shower. I need to have a shower. I got to clean up. I'm all muddy. So I go into the shower. Halfway through my shower, the guy I was talking to comes in. Obviously, we're having a super hot and steamy moment, okay? He opens the curtains. We start hooking up. We're having this hot, intense makeout session. Things are fiery. I'm naked. I'm in the shower. He came out of nowhere. I didn't even know he was coming in. I love a good spontaneous king. So we were having a really great moment. Basically just had a really intense makeout session. And then he left. He went back out. And I said, okay, I'll be out. Let me just get changed. I'll be out in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. That's all I asked for. Was 10 minutes. By the time I finalized my shower and finished getting changed, I then proceeded to walk out to the living room where everyone was. That broke guy that I gave the chance. That guy, yeah, him. The girl that I thought maybe was his cousin or a friend or something. Yeah, they were making out aggressively just in the middle of the living room. And I walked into that and I was like, oh, I hate men. And it's gone to the point where it's like, okay, like I could fuck you. I could fuck your dad. I could probably fuck your idol. But I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to fuck myself. Because my heart has been put in the blender at max speed multiple times. I'm getting to the point now in my love life where I'm done. I give up. After my heart's been put in the blender so many times, I have gotten to this point now in which I just piece this thing back together. Picture something going in the blender at max speed multiple times, and then imagine re-putting that back together. You know how much time that took? You know how much effort that took? And I'm expected to what? Just give that out again to just anyone? Absolutely not. And I think that's why I have my walls so high up right now. I don't want to date for another heartbreak. I just want my soulmate. I want my other half. I want to find my life partner. If you're not that person, then why even waste my time? You know what I mean? I cut off Nichols pretty quick. Oh, that's so mean. I should not call him Nichols. It's kind of funny, though. He did pay with Nichols on our date. But I didn't judge him. I was like, you know what? Maybe the broke boys have emotional intelligence or something going on here. But no, they didn't even have that. Okay, picture water. Imagine water is love, okay? I'm out here feeling oceans deep for people. My love is going oceans deep. And in return, people will take their little eyedropper. Okay, they'll get their eyedropper and they'll just give me beep, beep, 2 little drops back. And I'll be pouring an ocean of love into them. And in return, I get drops. And I've also come to that realization, why am I pouring oceans of love into people as shallow as a puddle? As I said at the beginning of the episode, empaths attract narcissists like magnets. And man, these people are so two-faced out here. Like, they be doing a full-time job putting on this persona of what they want me to think they are and then like take off their mask. Like, I just don't get why people do that. Just be yourself right off the start. Like, why pretend to be somebody else just to like show who you really are like later on? Like, just be yourself from the start so I can save my heart from being put in the blender at max speed multiple times. Okay? All the trials and tribulations I've been through in the love department has definitely brought me some major learning life lessons. If I were to take every relationship I've ever been in and boil it down into 3 pieces of advice, this is what it would be. 1, you can only love others as deeply as you love yourself. The most important relationship you will ever have in this lifetime is the relationship you have with yourself. Think about it. You came into this earth alone, and you will leave this earth alone. And that's why when people treat me shitty, I never take things too personally, because I understand this concept, right? You can only love others as deeply as you love yourself. So essentially, if people are treating you like garbage, like having an OnlyFans side chick, for example, just know that those kinds of behaviors stems from a deeper rooted issue of a lack of self-love. Know that those things have absolutely everything to do with that person and nothing to do with you. Number 2, money does not buy happiness. Like I said before, I've been with people of all different walks of life. One of the guys I was talking to, we went to a business dinner together, and he made $250,000 in 30 minutes. $250,000 in 30 minutes. And he didn't even have a smile on his face. He didn't even crack a smile. He wasn't excited. He wasn't happy. He wasn't even fazed by it. In fact, he was actually quite the opposite. He was mad. I'm all confused. You just made $250,000 in 30 minutes. Why are you mad? You see, he had a different number in his head of what he wanted. And because he didn't get exactly what he wanted, he wasn't satisfied. And people with the mentality like that, newsflash, let me tell you this, they'll never be satisfied in life. It's easy to think that like money just solves all your problems, but like, let me tell you firsthand, the stupid wealthy people that I know actually tend to be the most miserable. And I know it's controversial. I'm not saying every single rich person is miserable. However, a lot of the people with like stupid amounts of money that I've encountered, they tend to be a little bit sad. I've noticed the pattern of a lot of the people with a lot of money, like they're kind of sad. A lot of the broke men that I've been with, at least they'll get their hands dirty. You know, they're always down to go on fun adventures, do kind of crazy, cool, fun, exciting things. Whereas the people with like, fuck you money, they don't really like getting their hands dirty. I feel like I just sidetracked so much there. Essentially, money doesn't buy happiness. Number 3, you attract what you are. If you're trying to manifest your dream partner, if you're trying to manifest the love of your life, the number 1 absolute best way to do that is to first become the best version of yourself. Because in life, you truly do attract what you are. So if you are elevating your mind, body, spirit, and you're actively walking in the path of your highest self, that is when you become a magnet for miracles, and you can manifest so quickly. Looking back, I noticed when I was in more of a darker period mentally in my life, in which I actually attracted more negative people. Just understand like attracts like energy. So if you're vibrating at a high frequency and you're walking in the path of your highest self and you're elevating your mind, body, and spirit, and you're really pouring into your self-love, that's when you become more likely to attract your ideal partners, when you're operating in those kinds of energies. Whereas I found in the past when I was like kind of going through like little bit of a winter phase where I'm not feeling the best mentally. And then I noticed when I'm in those kind of more negative, low vibrational states of mind is when I attract toxic partners. So yeah, if you're trying to attract love, definitely first fill the cup, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So you need to pour into yourself first. I feel like another thing that falls into line when falling in love with yourself is balancing out both the masculine and feminine energies within ourselves, right? Because I think society loves to put like men versus women and like put them apart as like a divide. But in reality, we both have feminine and masculine energies within us. And becoming the best version of ourselves is learning how to master those energies and balance them accordingly. And a lot of the romantic partners I've attracted in the past definitely were not balanced. They were living more out of a toxic masculinity energy than a well-balanced place. But hey, you live and you learn, you know? So where am I regarding love now? Well, your girl's single as a Pringle. Also, I didn't even mention women in this podcast at all, but I'm also bisexual. I'm attracted to both males and females. I would love to explore a relationship with a woman, but I don't know, I've never had an emotional attraction with a female yet. You know, I definitely am physically attracted to women. However, I've never had an emotional connection with a woman. Who knows? Maybe that's next. I don't know. I don't know. As far as where I am now regards to love, I haven't left the house in 6 months. I've left the house. I just go to the gym and back, and that's basically it. I no longer chase. I'm at the point in my life now which I attract. I am no longer in the chasing dynamic. If it's meant to be, it'll be, and that's kind of the vibes I'm going with right now. I'm not looking for love at the moment. However, if it happens to fall into my lap, hey, I'll take it. My heart literally said, I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. My heart's like, please, Kylie, don't put me out there for the Ontario men to slaughter. Literally, the Ontario man, I can't. It's a scary species, and I don't trust them. But women, on the other hand, hey, pretty little ladies around the greater Toronto area, your girl's single. Don't be shy. Slide into the DMs. Yeah, I think that's going to conclude this episode, guys. This was a fun one. Love life of a Libra. I hope you guys found today's episode interesting. This episode felt like free therapy for me. So, thank you. I love you guys so much. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Peace.